Debbie Mitchell here with Deborah Mitchell Media Associates. Welcome to our final Testimonial Tuesday for October 1st. And we're here at Your Pie at Lee Vista. And thank you for joining us. We're going to be sitting and talking to Gabe Pressier. I'm going to introduce him in a minute. But first of all, I want to let you know that today's Testimonial Tuesday is sponsored by Kaiser University. And they are having their Scare Fair on October 30th, so put that on your calendar. But at 12:30 today, we're having our great lunch adventure. So we're inviting you to come down to Your Pie here at Lee Vista and join us. If you love pizza, this is where you need to be. You can create your own pizza pie and have a nice lunch, so join us. So now I'm going to introduce our guest for today's Testimonial Tuesday. Hi,
Wow.
Gabe.
Hey, Debbie, we're back at it. I feel like it's been at least a week.
Exactly. Haven't seen you in a minute. But Gabe is here. He is the chair of our inaugural Bravato Awards, which we just had on September 7th.
Which was a blast. If you weren't there, you missed it.
We had a great time. Yeah. So he wears many hats, including he's also on the EOCC Board of Directors. He's general manager of the Opera Orlando.
Yes, ma'am.
And he is a Grammy-winning.
Did I win this? Oh my gosh. Yes. They put my name on it? Oh, wow.
Name is there. So Grammy-winning baritone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, not a tenor.
So
tenors are fine, but
baritone. Yeah. So he's got a lot going on. So I'm really looking forward to today's discussion because
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank
you, Debbie, for having me.
Absolutely. So wait, should we talk Bravato first? Let's talk Bravato. That was so much fun.
That was fun. It was our first time doing it, and you put a lot of work into. We had lots of meetings, many meetings. And we had a great team, great committee, and you just never know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
But I think everyone had a fabulous time. The feedback was so positive.
Yeah.
The lobby was gorgeous. Laura and Brandon had their team, their front of house team.
Food was amazing.
The food was amazing. Arthur's Catering. We had several live artists. Alberto Quinteros was there, and Rob, who's an amazing live artist. And we had music throughout the space. And then we had some great performances from Orlando Shakes.
Yes.
Had to have the opera perform. And then we even had dancers from Valencia College.
Yeah.
Super talented.
It was a great way to launch the arts season here in Orlando.
Which was the goal.
Yeah.
And in addition to recognizing some amazing leaders.
Amazing community leaders who were, they were surprised to be nominated. The ones who were nominated, then we had our finalists, and then the winners. They were so touched, the actual winners in the 8 categories I think we had. So I think
everyone was genuinely surprised.
They were.
And like the funniest thing for me was the acceptance speeches kept getting better and better. Like they kept trying to one up each other. At first the first person didn't mention their family at all, but the next person like, I love my wife and my children. It was I found that to be very entertaining.
It was very fun. Everybody had a good time, an opportunity to get dressed up.
Oh, everyone was fancy. Red carpet.
And the best part is they're saying they're looking forward to 2025.
Oh no, we have to do it again?
We got to do it again.
Oh no, it'd be great. I think we should do it every year.
Yeah,
it's a way to give back, to recognize our important community leaders.
Yeah.
Great way to get our arts recognized and realize how important the arts are, which I'm a big advocate for.
You are, yes.
So no, I hope we do it for many years to come.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. So let's talk about the season, the art season.
Oh, absolutely.
Opera season. So yes.
Opera Orlando, new season brochure. We got
I have it here.
Destiny and Desire. I even brought the T-shirt. Look at this.
So tell us about it. Tell us about Destiny and Desire. That's the theme for this year?
That's the theme for this season. Okay. All of our productions have something to do with destiny and one's desire for either the right thing or the wrong thing. And we kick off with Macbeth.
Okay.
So his is kind of an unrighteous desire, power-hungry man. He and Lady Macbeth, right? Kind of a messed up family, but they're fun to watch.
They're fun to watch in opera.
And a lot of people don't realize that there's an opera version of Macbeth.
I got to tell you, when you invited me and told me about it, I was surprised. I was like, Macbeth? Like, okay.
Yeah. So, obviously based on the Shakespeare, right? It's the same exact story. But written by Giuseppe Verdi, who I lovingly call Joe Green. Verdi is probably one of the most famous, prolific opera composers. Wrote Traviata, Rigoletto, and if you're like, I don't really know opera, you would know his music. La donna immobile, that's Verdi, right? And he loved Shakespeare, had an obsession with Shakespeare, actually. Macbeth was his first Shakespearean opera that he wrote. He also wrote Othello and Falstaff. But from his own letters, he said that Macbeth is an opera unlike any other, which is pretty high praise for like one of the top opera guys. It has this amazing witches scene.
That's what I was going to ask you. What makes it so amazing?
You know, the something wicked this way comes, and toil, toil, double in trouble. You know, that's all from Macbeth. And so this opening scene with the witches, it's this scary but energetic, and it kind of is that like Italian, like you can kind of envision it like like that's exactly the music. I don't know. It's thrilling. It's really
love
thrilling.
how you're so passionate and excited about it.
Well, it is one of my favorite operas.
I was going to ask
I'm
you,
excited.
Is it one of your favorite
I got to do it when I was a young artist in Des Moines. You know, as an opera singer, you do a bunch of young artist programs to let your voice kind of develop. And there's a big sword fight, so we all got to learn about broadsword fighting and stage combat. I even got a bloody nose in one of the shows because I got the butt. So, and I don't know, and the lead role is also a baritone lead role. I'm not singing Macbeth, but it is a dream role of mine at some point. We have an amazing baritone who has sung at the Metropolitan Opera, Norman Garrett. Norman Garrett. Look him up. He's amazing. He could be a model. He's a very handsome.
Oh, I got to look up.
He's like 6'4", tall, dark, and handsome. Gorgeous man with an even more gorgeous voice. So we're excited to have him as our Macbeth.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, other than Macbeth, what else will we be seeing?
We're doing other stuff too.
What else are we going to see for this season? Because I know you talked about Cinderella.
We have a lot. We have 6 productions this season.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So, you know, Macbeth is kind of our darker desire, whereas Cinderella is in February is a more positive desire, right? Rags to riches story. And this is the French version of Cinderella. So it's called Cendrillon. It's sung in French.
Oh, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, but never fear. Never fear. Even if we do an opera in a foreign language, like Macbeth is sung in Italian. We always have the English translation above the stage. We call those super titles. You know, like you think of subtitles, but they're super because they're above the stage. And we do them in English and in Spanish to make it easy for anyone to follow along.
That's a great idea.
So
some people might be intimidated by the fact when you think opera, you do think, I think Italian right away. But it can be
Don't get me on my soapbox. People are very intimidated by opera, and you know that's something we try to demystify what opera is, right? Opera has been around since the 1600s, and when it started, it was the popular art form of its day. Keep in mind, 1600s, no cell phones, right? No internet, no movie theaters, no Broadway, no musicals. So opera was the Broadway of its day. It was the popular art form. Now, years go by and people don't want to sit through a 3-hour-long show in a foreign language. We get that. We get that, right? So we try and trim things down. We take cuts. We have the super titles. But opera, at the end of the day, is storytelling, right? Through music. If you're a Broadway fan, if you love Les Mis, if you love Sweeney Todd, if you love Phantom of the Opera, hello, you'll love opera. I mean, what's not to love? It's beautiful music, great storytelling.
I love the way you describe it. That's so true. So, like, it could be an Italian, French. You were just talking about German.
We've done German operas. There's Russian opera, Czechoslovakian opera. We also do quite a few productions in English. One of the other productions we're doing this year is For Los Santas, which is a new opera, obviously in English. It's about a barbershop quartet of Santa Clauses that get their big break. They get a gig at SantaCon. They're on their way to SantaCon. You guys know what SantaCon is, right? It's like MegaCon, but for anyways. And their car breaks down. So they're stranded on the side of the road, and
Are you making this up?
I did make it up. It was actually my idea, and I convinced a composer and librettist to turn it into an opera. So this is something I came up with. I know. So corny. So corny. You know, it's kind of like Waiting for Guffman or Monty Python Stupid, right?
I see it.
You're seeing it, right? So a mother and her son are on their way to their Christmas pageant, Christmas show of Amal and the Night Visitors. Amal and the Night Visitors is an opera that's been done every Christmas, right? It's about the 3 wise men. And the boy's like, hey, I see Santa on the highway. We should pick him up. And the mom's like, no, we're going to be late to the show. Long story short, they pick up the 4 Santas. They all go to the church together. They get to the church, and the stage manager says, oh, no, the 3 wise men didn't show up. They got this last-minute gig at SantaCon. And so the 4 Santas like, well, everyone knows Amal and the Night Visitors, and it goes right into Amal and the Night Visitors. So it's a setup for the other show.
Clever.
All in English.
Okay, so
it'll
that's
have some
nice.
sing-along songs. Perfect show for the holidays.
Okay.
Family-friendly.
That sounds good. Okay, so that's kind of a good segue. But before we go any further, I'm going to just remind everybody that at 12:30, you should come on by to Your Pie in Lee Vista, and you can make your own pizza pie for lunch. So definitely join us when we're done. You can have some pizza.
The
Okay?
smells in here are unbelievable.
I'm starving.
Just come for the smells.
Oh,
Yes.
now, hi guys.
We already have people here. Smelling
Oh my
and
God.
eating. Yes.
So, you are in the position where you are not only heading up Opera Orlando, but you still perform.
I do still perform.
And you actually invited me to is it the summer opera?
Our summer concert
Our summer
series.
concert.
And you came.
I
Thank you for
absolutely.
coming.
I showed up
Thank you for coming.
and I saw the young lady who's going to play Cinderella.
Yes,
She was
Lindsay.
amazing.
She's also been at the Metropolitan Opera, so
She
we bring in
was,
some really talented singers. Yeah.
And then I was surprised because I got to hear you perform. I was like, oh my God.
I didn't want to give it away, you know. I do like to surprise people.
Yeah,
but
you
I
have
still
a
sing.
great voice.
Oh, well. Tell me more about myself.
Grammy
Enough
worthy.
about me, but tell me more about myself. You're very sweet.
You have a great voice.
Thank
So,
you.
just so you know, they sang, is it pieces or what's the correct term? Selections from different stories, and including not Les.
We did Phantom of the Opera.
You did a lot of
All I
Phantom.
Ask of You that day, and she did selections from Cendrillon.
And what is the one that you like? Papa.
Oh, and then
Papa.
we did Snow White.
You did Snow White.
Songs from Snow White. Which
Yeah, it was really.
There's just so much music that we don't even recognize in movies.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, music is all around us.
Yeah. So have you always loved music?
I have. You know, and I think for whatever reason, singing just came naturally to me. I wasn't a perfect singer by any means. I did have to learn my technique and stuff. But I was the youngest of 6 kids. And so my mom said, well, you always just wanted to get attention. So I was always, you know, performing and felt comfortable in that space.
And that's what I saw in the performance. It's not just singing. You're actually acting. You're doing a lot.
Exactly. You know, it's funny. I think there was a time in, you know, maybe the 60s and 70s where opera singers really would just park and bark, is what we call it.
Park and bark.
Stand and sing, right?
Yes.
Okay. But the industry has really evolved. And it's kind of gone back to its roots because, again, opera was storytelling in the beginning. Ever since the Met, the Metropolitan Opera in New York, started doing HD broadcasts where they're like zooming in, it's like, oh, shoot, I can't just stand here and have a beautiful voice. I need to actually become Macbeth, become the character. And that's why I got stuck with opera. Because I grew up doing music theater. You know, I was Tevye and Fiddler on the Roof in 10th grade. You know, I peaked really early. But then opera, you know, it's like music theater on steroids because it's full orchestra, big costumes, big sets, in a foreign language, no microphones.
I was going to say no microphones.
So you have to really learn. And that's when I had a good voice, but I had to learn the technique to project my voice over the orchestra, keep it healthy, and that's very important. Yeah.
And you came to opera late. You came to opera as
not until college.
At college.
Not until college was I really introduced to opera and fell in love with it.
What resonates with you? What made you love it?
Well, that's a good word, resonates. We're speaking about opera. To be honest, one of the first things was the challenge, right? I grew up in a sports family, so we were very competitive with each other, right? Yeah. And there's something athletic about being able to sing for 3 hours, move around the stage. I mean, we are like drenched in sweat at night.
I can see that.
But then also the challenge of learning foreign languages, right? I was really attracted to the beauty of singing in Italian, the beauty of singing in French. So it's all those reasons. And then what's really beautiful about opera, you take the art form of hair and makeup. You take the art form of the orchestra, the art form of dance, set design, lighting design. It's all of these art forms coming together collaboratively. So to me, it's the ultimate expression of teamwork.
That's a really great description. Okay, so everybody, just so you can see Gabe in action, here he is. Can you see this?
That guy. Wow. I don't even know what he's doing with his hand. What is that?
This is him. What role is this?
That was from Lucia di Lammermoor last season. Enrico. I was the bad brother.
Wow. Yeah. Look at that. That looks like a lot to carry around.
That is a lot to carry. I mean, you can now see why I was sweating profusely by the end of the show. And that's a real sword. So stage combat is a real thing in opera. And they dole the swords, but those are real broadswords that we use.
Oh, that's so amazing. So how many languages do you speak?
Oh, gosh. Speak like fluently.
Yeah, that's what
I spent time in Brazil, and I am fluent in Portuguese. Still fluent in Portuguese. Okay. So I'd say I'm semi-fluent. Like I can conversationally do Spanish and Italian and French. They're all Romance languages, very relatable. German, which is my heritage. I'm Preisa.
Preisa.
To German.
Gabriel Preisa.
I know. People like to make me French.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. You're not the first.
Yeah.
But I'm terrible at German, which is so ironic. I can sing it, right? I understand the language, but spoken German it's just so different from the Romance languages.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Italian. I speak a little. So, io parlo un po' italiano.
Oh, bellissimo.
That's it.
That's it. Oh, che pena.
I know, sorry.
That's all right.
Yes, yeah.
It's a gorgeous language. And what was funny, the little time that I spent in France or Italy, France, like they force you to speak French, right? So they were really happy that I was trying to speak French. But Italy, like they're like, no, I want to speak English with you, like because they want to practice their English.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, but that's beautiful. I love language. Italian is like music to my ears.
It is.
It's
really, so musical.
Yeah,
so musical.
It really is. So
that's why you can understand why opera was born in Italy.
Yeah. I got to go to La Scala in Milan.
I haven't been there.
In 2019, right before the lockdown. So that was amazing. But let's talk about how you can get your kids interested in opera, or anyone who's not interested.
Well, that's a great question. You know, we do have a youth company at Opera Orlando, and it's ages 8 through 18. It's currently 36 singers in that group. And they meet during the school year. They receive voice lessons, acting lessons, language lessons. They even do some yoga, some improv. So we really want them to be a holistic performer, right? So it's not just opera, but maybe theater, music theater. And then the really cool thing about that program is those kids then perform on the main stage, right? So they're performing with us at Steinmetz Hall with the full orchestra, with the professional singers. It's a very unique opportunity. This year there'll be the Fairies and Cinderella.
Oh, nice.
There'll be the children's chorus in Cavalleria Rusticana, which we're doing in the spring. So that's one way. You know, if your kid has the bug and you want to give them performance opportunities, come audition for our youth company. But Orlando Family Stage, which is a local group, they have a summer camp for young performers. Dr. Phillips Center has an academy. So there's lots of opportunities. The other important thing is for us to get out in the schools. So we do a touring show each year. This year it'll be Cinderella, of course, that just makes sense. And we'll be going to Title I schools, in elementary schools, performing Cinderella for the kids. Just introduce them to it.
That's nice. Yeah. Start them young, definitely.
Absolutely.
So tell me about the hall, Steinmetz Hall.
Oh my gosh. Have you been there?
I have been there. I've seen a Christmas show there, but I haven't seen opera there. So.
Okay. All right. Well, it's one thing just to see it because it's beautifully gorgeous. But if you can enjoy something that is acoustic, right? No microphones. That's what the hall was built for, right? Which is what opera is, right? No microphones on the orchestra, no mics on the singers. And it was ranked in the top 11 venues in the world.
Oh, wow.
Not just in the United States.
Oh, that's
so like Sydney Opera House, which we all know, that was in the list. Teatro San Carlo, La Scala was on there. And Steinmetz Hall, right here in Orlando. I mean,
that's pretty impressive.
we should all be proud of that.
That's
That's
pretty
a big
impressive.
deal.
Yeah.
And it really is built for opera, for symphonies. So please come experience an opera. I mean, we have a world-class venue in our backyard.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to something you said earlier. You
Uh-oh.
said that opera is like training for a sport.
Yeah.
So tell me
Absolutely.
about how you condition and train for keep yourself in shape for the throughout
Well, I
the
mean,
year.
as you can tell, I'm in top physical condition, especially after I ate all those pizzas. Which the pizzas here are very good. Did we mention the pizzas are very good?
12:30, meet us here for our
12:30.
great lunch adventure.
I might still be here. But no, it is important to stay in good shape because you have a lot of movement, right? And sometimes you're doing opera, but you might also be doing operettas, which have a lot of waltzing, dancing, music. I've done musicals as well, have a lot of dancing. I'm not a great dancer, but I can do the basics, right? And then most importantly is vocal health,
Okay.
right? So I avoid alcohol, I don't smoke, and I'm not saying you can't do those things
Right,
if you
but
sing.
your voice
But
is
your body is your instrument, right? I do a lot of local honey when I'm on the road because it has natural immunities to whatever the allergens might be in that area. I drink a lot of throat coats, herbal tea, warm tea with honey and lemon. You just want to take good care of yourself. And I used to do a lot of yoga, which was great for breathing. I've gotten out of that practice. I need to.
So you got to get back into your yoga.
Yes, I need to repent and do better with that. But yoga is great for singers, and there is like specific yoga for singers out there, which is great. Yeah.
Okay. No, I remember backstage before the Bravado Awards. I heard you. You were in the back room
Making
like,
weird
yeah,
sounds.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, he's warming up.
That's
Warming
how
up.
it goes.
No, so
That's
that
how it
was
goes.
So that was
What's
fun
so
to
funny
listen
is my kids. I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, and they imitate everything. They're like parents, they're 8 and 8 and 10. And so I hear my daughter just out of nowhere saying, "Mommy made me mash my M&Ms." Where did she get that from? And I realized, oh shoot, that's what I do.
That's great.
They're hilarious.
That is
They're
so
hilarious.
funny. No, you sound like you're having a good time. The for the folks who are watching, like I said, we were talking about getting the kids interested in opera. What would you say is a good starter opera for someone?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because there are so many operas. You see, and that's what's
Even if
so
you're just
funny
listening to it in the house.
Well, going back to what you're saying about demystifying the art form, sometimes people go to one opera and they didn't like that one opera,
Right.
so now they're like, oh, I'm going to hate all the other operas. Like, there's so much out there. There's, like, Tommy by The Who was a rock opera. Do you know that piece? Right?
Yeah,
That was
I do
considered
know
an
that,
opera,
but
right?
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah. There's electronic operas. There's, operas that are only an hour long. There are operas that are 3. So there's a wide variety. I would say this season, the Christmas show that we're doing, it's only an hour long total.
Okay.
It's in English. It's about someone they all know and love, Santa Claus, right? So that would be a really great one to bring your kids to.
Okay.
I think Cinderella as well. If you have a young girl who loves to dress up as a princess, because people love to come dressed up to the opera.
Oh, that's nice.
It's just part of the experience.
I think it's a good thing to dress up. I just like dressing up for theater, opera. I just think it just takes it to another level.
You don't have to.
You don't
dress
have
up,
to,
but the
but
opera
it's
is
nice.
a perfect excuse if you
Get
want
dressed
to.
up,
Put
yeah.
that tux on and
Yeah.
see if it still fits.
I have a friend whose husband is German and he loves The Ring.
Oh my gosh! Now that's hardcore opera.
He is a hardcore opera.
The Ring Cycle by Wagner. It's 3 3-hour-long operas. So it's like watching Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he loves it. He loves it.
And to each their own.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's some people that are going to love Macbeth because they love the music, or they love Shakespeare, or they're going to love. We're doing futuristic medievalism.
Oh, that's
kind of like
interesting.
Dune
Yeah.
is kind of the theme. So some people might like the concept of the production, right? But I'm not here to convince people every opera is for everyone.
Right.
But just because Smell, yeah, definitely come here.
Early.
Graham is still here. Maybe I'll leave my cup. Macbeth
Macbeth
is October 25th and 27th.
You can get tickets for that.
Then you have the Christmas show, Four Lost Santas in a Mall. That's December 8th through the 10th. And then we have Cinderella in February. And then we're doing Bertère, which is a gorgeous opera by Massenet, but we're doing it in English at the Sidoni Mansion in Mount Dora. The historic home was built in 1883. They use it now for weddings. And you move throughout the mansion as the opera unfolds. Yeah, appetizers, dessert, wine is all included. So it's kind of like immersive theater meets progressive dinner, right? So that's in March, and I am singing in that one.
This is so much fun, Gabe. I know we have a little bit more time.
Okay.
So is there, first of all, I want everyone to know that the Bravato Awards is going to air on Orange TV in this month
Really?
of October. Yeah, so check your local time. If you didn't get to attend, you should definitely watch it.
I hope they cut out all my badges. Oh, no.
So if you didn't get to come, you can watch it. And then, yeah, so it's going to be on Orange TV.
Actually, when yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of variety, and it's in English.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
So,
is it good?
I was going to say that both you and I are friends with Fred Plotkin. Did you see the Prabhat? I can't even say his name. His name is
Pavarotti.
Pavarotti. The documentary. There was a documentary.
Fred was a consultant.
He was a consultant.
Yeah.
If you do not know opera, that is something you should look up to watch.
That's like a gateway drug. Pavarotti is like the gateway drug to opera. It's like if you don't like Pavarotti, you might not have a soul. I mean, that man was touched by God as a divine voice, and that documentary is wonderful. That's good gateway drug. Thank you for mentioning that. You know what else is coming out is Angelina Jolie has a movie as Maria Callas, another amazing voice opera singer. So I mean, opera again, it's all around us.
Storytelling, great storytelling. So, thank you for joining us again. I'm Debbie Mitchell with Deborah Mitchell and Associates. Gabe Prestia.
That's fine. I answer to anything. Price up, like the Price is Right.
Someone for joining us. Come down here to Lee Vista, Your Pie at Lee Vista for some great pizza. And again, join us next month for Testimonial Tuesday, the first Tuesday.
See you at the opera.
Oh, thank you, Kaiser University.
Oh, thank you, Kaiser.
Yes. If you have a chance, go to their Scare Fair on October 30th.
Sounds scary.